everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems, and I want to welcome you here this afternoon. Today's topic, as you can see here, is going to be don't start a business without asking these questions. What we find out here is that there are a lot of people who ask a lot of questions, but sometimes without a big group around, it's sometimes hard to think about all the questions that you could or should be asking when you're starting any business, and really especially about the business here in medical billing. Let me introduce myself. My name's Eric Ogea. I'm the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems, and I want to welcome you again to this live webinar. Licensees that you see here from coast to coast, from all nationalities, from all different backgrounds, these licensees are being powered by American Business Systems, just like you would be. What does it mean to be powered by American Business Systems? Well, those are some of the things we're going to share with you this afternoon. You got to have a good billing platform to do that from, but more importantly, you can have the best billing platform, the best of everything, but if you don't have the best of support or the live training, then obviously you're not going to be really powered. That's some of the things that we do here at ABTS, and we want to certainly let you know and be comfortable and confident that that's what you're going to get here at American Business Systems. When you're doing your research and doing all your due diligence all over the internet, obviously there's so many places that you could go. So what we're asking you to do is go to a reputable place like the Better Business Bureau. Check us out there. You can always go find us there at the Fort Worth Better Business Bureau. Go put our name in there, American Business Systems, and it will come up. You'll see there that we have an A+ rating there, and we're very proud of having that and having that there. Some of the things we're going to be talking to you about today are the things that you're seeing here on the screen. This is the core of what we do here at American Business Systems, which is medical billing and electronic medical records. You'll see us talk about this, be asking some of the questions that you should be asking as well for those that are looking to get involved in medical billing, whether it's with American Business Systems or anybody else. You really need to be asking some questions about the particular software. Now let me introduce you, for some of you, this is your first time to ever be on a webinar. A lot of you have already known and had met Patrick through the webinars already. But Patrick Phillips is the founder and the Chief Executive Officer of American Business Systems. He has formerly been with Apple Computer when they were in Dallas. He's on the editorial board for Billing and Coding magazine, as I'll show you here in just a moment. He's a chairman of the Medical Revenue Managers Association of America and also a best-selling author. I know that some of you have found some of his books in some of his magazines, and Patrick would like to invite you actually to our headquarters here in Keller, Texas, or here in Fort Worth. We're at 5751 Kroger Drive here in Fort Worth, Texas. So whoever you're working with, whether a business coach that you're actually working with, we'll be happy to tell you and how to show you how to get here and get you the directions here. Before I bring Patrick on, I wanted to actually show you a couple of his books and really the new book that he's working on and is ready to be published actually in print here in the next couple of weeks, which is the new Thriving Medical Practice. I'll even ask Patrick to talk a little bit about that when I bring him on. And again, here is the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine that he is on the editorial board on there for that. So I'm going to ask Patrick to come on and join me this afternoon. And then Patrick, as you're coming on, why don't you tell us the status of that new book and let us know about when we can get it and order it off of Amazon. You're muted. So let's get you unmuted here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, I got a proof copy of it right here. And those of you who are live on the webinar, you see me rolling across to my bookshelf here to get it. But yeah, it's a nice. It's about 175 pages, and it's going to be a great tool for our licensees, written in conjunction with a medical doctor, Dr. Vicki Ratner, who's on our advisory board. So yeah, we'll be having that on. You'll see it on Amazon probably within the next couple of weeks.
Good, awesome, that'd be great. And folks, you can get a copy of that, or just check us out with your business coach. We'll see about maybe how to get you, direct you to a copy of and getting that book there. But Patrick, today I know that you're excited because you just got back from the live training workshop there, and you were talking to people about marketing today, and you've been a busy guy today. So just kind of give us a quick overview of what's actually going on in this class and really the growth that we're actually seeing in these classes.
Yeah, I wished I had a picture of the classroom. I had one, but I don't know how to show it to you. But it's a big class. It's about 25 people in this one. We had to really squeeze in some extras there in the back of the room. But they're very pumped up, very excited, all kinds of diverse backgrounds. Eric, I would say out of the 25 people, there's probably about 3 or maybe 4 people that said that they had any kind of connection in the past to a medical office of any kind. So just like most classes, most people don't have any experience at all in this field. So that's good because we have to take them and teach them how to do it the right way.
Absolutely, and I know that there are a lot of people that are actually on the call today who are seriously looking about getting involved in this business, and a lot of them don't have experience in medical billing, and usually that's one of the first questions that you're going to want to be able to ask. But let's go ahead and start with some of these. Now, Patrick, the order that these are in, and not one this is not the most important, or the last one's not the least important. These are just some of the questions that I know that we all get here at American Business Systems. And so we want to talk about this first question that anybody should be asking about what any business that they may be in. The first question is there a need of my product or service in any current marketplace? You want to kind of talk about, I know that we're going to focus in on medical billing or medical revenue management, but in general, Patrick, this is really what people need to be looking for in the first place.
Yeah, and doctors are just worried right now. They're under a lot of pressure from a lot of different things that are coming in right now. The new ICD10 codes that just came out last year are now overwhelming them. And of course, they've got the electronic medical records that they've got to keep up with now, and just all sorts of things that doesn't let them focus on the things that are important to them. And so because we can show them that we can actually save them money outsourcing the billing to one of our licensees, they just need to be educated, that's all. That's what I taught in the class today. As I said, look, we're going to show you how to educate those doctors to where they realize that they are, yes, they may be getting money in each week from the insurance companies, but they're not getting what they should. And we can get them, close to 98% of all the money that they bill can be collected. Now they're just collecting probably, about 70% of that.
Yeah, it's amazing that the doctors that are, you mentioned something about ICD10. Folks, if you don't know what that is just the diagnosis code of what's wrong with you as a patient in an alphanumeric code, okay? And so the doctors went on this last October, but however, Patrick, you and I both know that come this October, they've been kind of generically using some of those new codes there. It's going to get more focused on that, and some of the payers won't pay if they're still using some of those what's called unspecified codes there. So that's what a real good billing company can offer, and obviously this is one of the things that we can offer. But Patrick, why don't you kind of take us through this, because a lot of people do ask the question, why would a doctor want to use me in the first place, whenever they have their own people here in their office doing this? So you want to kind of work on this chart here with everybody?
Well, bottom line is what you see right here on the bottom line. On the right-hand column there, that's what the doctor would pay you based on the numbers you see there in the chart. That's just 400 claims a month. And, Eric, that's very reasonable for any doctor to see 100 patients a week. That's just 20 a day. Yep. And we extended that out to a year's time there at about $100 a claim at 6%, which is what you would be charging as an ABS licensee to the doctor. They're only going to have to pay you $28,800. But if you look on the left column there, the in-house costs, there's all sorts of hidden costs that the doctor doesn't realize that it's costing him a whole lot more money to do that billing inside of his own office with his own staff. As you can see, it's $65,000 just on the numbers that we have right here.
And it's interesting, Patrick, someone that I was talking with a few weeks ago, may have been even a doctor or someone else, but, it's hard to fathom that. I mean, we see up there with a full-time billing employee, $15 an hour. And I think it was a doctor who says, you know what, I've learned not to turn my business, my $1 million business, over to someone that I'm paying $15 an hour for.
Right.
They're looking for a professional. They really do look for professionals out there. And we know that we can get people that are on the call today to become that type of professional. And then given that doctor that opportunity, as you were saying, focus on the things that are most that their greatest skill is, which is working with families and getting families well.
Well, that's what they were trained to do, and it's what they love to do. So we get them back doing the thing that gives them the most pleasure, helping patients get well and stay well. And we focus on all that stuff that has to do with dealing with insurance companies and Medicare and so forth. And we teach people how to do that, like you said, Eric, from just about every background that's out there.
Yep, absolutely. So again, getting back to the question there, you got to be checking the product and the service that I have. Is there a market for it out there? I mean, so obviously we're not going to be presenting it. And I think before we hop off of this one topic here, Patrick, I know that you and I have shown some graphics that, all we're seeing is huge growth in the medical field.
Yeah, it's booming right now, and there's going to be, of course, a shortage in doctors. So you put that along with all the new patients under the Affordable Care Act that are being dumped into the system right now, and you got all the baby boomers, of course. That just adds that many more patients that a doctor has to see. They don't have time, Eric, to focus on the billing. It has to be done, or they wouldn't get paid from the insurance companies and Medicare. But somebody else can do that that's been trained to do that, and that does that not just for one doctor, but for several doctors.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to question number 2. But before we start question number 2, folks, we want to let you know, everybody that's attending today, feel free to ask your questions. It's kind of like the live training, Patrick. It's kind of like the dynamics of what we get in a live training class. Folks, if you're just sitting there just listening, we want you to take advantage of asking us questions. So if there's something specific about one of the questions that we're reviewing, or there's a question that pops in your mind, feel free to ask us any question you want, because, again, that dynamics we want to create here during the webinar. Number 2, Patrick, let's talk about what kind of training or experience is necessary for success in this business. Obviously, we were kind of touching on that just a little bit there about, gosh, how do we get people up to where they need to be, especially trying to learn and deal with something like what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, the codes scares a lot of people because everybody knows there's some kind of codes, all the numbers that you see here on this form here that a doctor fills out when they visit with a patient. Those are procedure codes and diagnostic codes that the doctor provides those to you. So it's not like you have to know the codes, but if the doctor hasn't coded correctly, of course, they won't get maximized on their revenue. And we want to do that for them, of course. But, folks, you don't have to go to courses on coding to get into this business. I've got people very successful, and, Eric, they'll tell you, they didn't open one of these huge books up here with all the codes. There's thousands of them. You can't know all there is to know unless you're going to be a coder who maybe finds a job in a hospital or for a big doctor's group that they pay you money, that's all you do all day long is deal with the codes. You don't have to know those codes to be able to do a medical biller.
Well, I think that's where a lot of people get somewhat frustrated right at the beginning, where they think, oh my goodness, what am I going to have to do with all these different codes? I know that a lot of people do ask that question, and we've got a specific webinar that we've done, and we'll do that here in the future here, probably in the next couple of weeks, about what is the difference between a medical biller and a medical coder, and we may just kind of do that here in the near future, so that you, as looking at getting involved in this business as an entrepreneur in this particular field, that you don't have to find yourself worried sick over that. Because, again, here's this training class. Patrick, I mean, this is one that we just did just a couple of months ago. They're learning how to get around and how to get the information what they need to do.
Well, let's be honest. We know that in 5 days, folks, we can't teach you everything you need to know about this industry because it's a pretty, heavy-duty industry to get involved in. But we have taught people enough to where they can go out and get a client and start billing for that client, and then your education continues forever. Part of our licensing fee, for example, covers ongoing training webinars like this one, except we do these on Fridays, usually for the licensees. And those are at no cost to our licensees. We've done those for, what, Eric, the last 10 years, one a week just about.
Yeah, absolutely. Just about one a week there.
So even though you can take a course in your local college on how to do medical billing, folks, that will be very frustrating. You don't have to do all that study, literally within that 1 week's time, we can teach you exactly what you need to know to go out and get business.
And at the end of the week, as we're showing you right now, that because you're on the board or chairman of the larger group of this, that people will walk out there as being a certified medical revenue manager, which is a little bit, you could say, even more than just being a medical biller.
Yeah, that's why, as chairman of the Medical Revenue Managers Association of America, that's a mouthful, I basically have these folks certified by the end of the week. Now, that doesn't mean that they know every single detail. Remember, our ongoing training and learning process goes on, but we do certify people so they can go out and get their business started. Because all you need is one client. That's really all you look for, is that first client, and then you're off and running. Because you'll get referrals if you do a good job for that doctor.
Absolutely. All right, so I know this one thing that everybody is always asking about: how much money can I make without hiring other people? I mean, that's obviously is the more you grow, obviously you're going to have some people. I think I don't even know how many people that Cynthia has anymore and how many people that she has working for her, but you might know. But she didn't get there by hiring people. As her business grew, she did hire people.
Yes, and that's the great thing about this business. You can keep it small and do it all yourself. Or if you continue to grow and get referrals from doctors and you want to, you can hire other people to do the actual day-to-day data entry, and you just manage those people and oversee the whole thing. That's what our instructor, who's down here for the week, does. She brings her laptop, of course, and I'm sure she runs some of her business in the evenings from the hotel room, but primarily all of her people back at the office is doing that for her.
Absolutely. And I think if I can get this up here properly, let me see if I can open up this window here. I think one of the things that we actually wanted to show here was was basically how much you actually can make. And we're going to do that. Actually, Patrick, if you're okay, we're going to do this in real time here. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here and move this other thing out of the way. And I think we're good to go.
So what Eric is showing here is our website, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, absystems.com, and there you're live now out on the internet on our site, aren't you?
I am, and we're going to go right here to this medical billing income calculator. So folks, you can go right here. I'm going to blow this up just a little bit so maybe you can see it a little bit better. Because Patrick, let's just kind of go with these numbers here. Now, folks, if you can certainly see, there's an important note down there that these are just formulas and calculations that are used as examples. I mean, certainly you can't use this as any of your actual projections because actually this is sort of more on the lower side. But if you do have one doctor, we know that every doctor is going to see a minimum of maybe 20 patients a day. I mean, that's kind of like, if you think about it, 10 patients in the morning, 10 patients in the afternoon, open for 5 days, with a percentage of 6% of the average claim amount. And that's pretty much, for those that know a little bit about billing, that's sort of basically what the doctors get back in reimbursement fees. So let's go ahead and submit this, and you'll see the numbers here. Patrick, you want to kind of quickly talk about the numbers that got calculated here?
Yeah, so as you can see, the total gross income for this medical billing company with one doctor is $31,200. And that's just servicing one medical doctor. Now, it says one office, but actually there could be 3 or 4 doctors, and so you'd multiply that by 3 or 4. And, of course, the gross income then annually would be...
Oh, sorry, I jumped over there too quickly for you. I was actually going to put that up. But go ahead, there it is.
Oh, yeah, so that's just showing the monthly income there, too. The $2,600 is monthly, or $31,200 annually. So, Eric, I just tell people, look, if that is the average out there for that type of doctor, just tell me how many of those doctors you need to make the kind of income that you want.
Yep, and so, folks, you can see that you can quickly go there. Like Patrick said, if you wanted to add 4 to it, we just changed the number to 4. 4 doctors seeing 20 patients a day. Using the same numbers, you can kind of see and guesstimate basically what you're wanting to be able to get to. So feel free, folks, to be able to go to that website and just kind of play around with that. And that'll really help you, understand a little bit about the business, about actually how much you can make. And then obviously if you've got 4 people, you can see how much you can be grossing at that point. But again, the other part of it is, Patrick, that a lot of people ask, well, how much time is this going to take? I'm going to kind of walk through this on each of these bullet points, but you go ahead and let's talk about the amount of time that it's going to take someone to actually process a claim.
Well, this is actually probably if it's a brand new patient and you have to type in all the patient demographics, because anybody that has any kind of decent input data entry skills could put all the information they need for a patient in 2 minutes. Let's say it's even a repeat patient that comes back in next month. All the demographic data, the name, address, and insurance information is in there, but let's say it took you 2 minutes to put that claim in. So if you have an average number of claims for a general practitioner of 400 a month, like we just talked about in the previous example, there you've got 2 minutes times 400 claims, that's 800 minutes, or only about 13 hours, Eric, to do this billing for this doctor. That's 13 hours in a month's time.
Right.
Not a day, not a week.
$2,600.
Yeah, and it earned $31,000 a year.
I'm going to pause right here, Patrick, because we've got one person that says they can't hear. Folks, what we're going to ask you to do, if you'll look up in your control panel, and if you can hear us, all we were going to ask you to do at this point is just raise your little hand. There is a little icon of a hand there. So if you can click on that hand, okay, Brandy, thank you so much. So we are coming through. Okay, great. So it must just be one person there, and I'll answer him privately here just to make sure. Thank everybody for doing that. But kind of getting back to this, we wanted to kind of show you basically again about what kind of time it's going to take there in order for you to actually do some of the billing. So you know the amount of money you can make, and basically again how much time it's going to take you to go through that. All right, Patrick, let's talk about technology. Is this a business that can be run from anywhere using current technology? I know you're a technology freak.
Well, that's what people love about our system. Because it's cloud-based, it literally means that you can go to any device that's connected to the internet. This is showing like a tablet or an iPad, even your phone, any computer that can get on the internet through a browser of any kind, like you're using right now to watch this webinar, can log into our system and actually do the billing. So you could do this in the middle of the ocean on an ocean liner, if they had Wi-Fi there, and you could do it on the beach in Hawaii. It doesn't matter. The technology is wonderful to be able to run this business from anywhere in the world. And if you start your business in your local town and you move, it doesn't matter because you just continue doing it over the internet, and your local doctors don't care where it's done from as long as they get their money.
Yeah, instead of you getting information like this, you know, a super bill on the left and the new patient information on the right, you can take advantage of a seamless system. So again, if the doctor is seeing their patients and they're using the EMR, literally, folks, you can kind of do away with paper, and like Patrick says, you could be just about anywhere and actually do the billing. One of the things I love, and we're actually going to get to this here in a little bit, but it's worth saying right now, and that is, I've had a lot of people ask me, Patrick, well, if I live here in Chicago right now, but I'm probably moving to Florida, is it okay to be able to do that? Your answer to that is what?
Just what I just said. Yes,
yep.
You can run this from anywhere. It's in the cloud, so all you do is log in from Florida, just like you did from Chicago. It doesn't matter where you're at in the whole United States. In fact, you could literally be overseas in some foreign country and still do it. Now, you can only do the billing for doctors in the U.S., but you could certainly hook up and do that from anywhere, even on vacation.
And I know this is one of the things that you really like to talk about too, is, again, Patrick, is the IBox now, because even though that the doctors need to be using an EMR system, which is all the medical records in a workable format, they still have a lot of files there in their office that need to be put in a secured place. I know that you've worked with some licensees that actually help save the doctors thousands of dollars just in real estate space in their office.
Yeah, because you look at those cabinets with those files in a doctor's office and they take up half of the office, or maybe they've got a whole room dedicated to that. Well, that room could be dedicated to seeing more patients and generating revenue. And all those patient records can be uploaded into the cloud through our service called IBox Now that you can offer to the doctor. And it's a one because the doctor can now access all of the patient records anywhere that he has an internet connection, on an iPad or a phone even, and he can actually see those documents right there on his device from anywhere, anytime. Of course, it's HIPAA secure by HIPAA security rules, and it's also backed up nightly off-site. You even get a full backup each month of all your documents on a CD that's actually mailed to you, encrypted. So it's just I don't even know how to explain it, Eric. It's a great system. We use it in our office, and you can come to our offices here in Fort Worth and ask to see our paperwork and our file cabinets. And we don't have any, do we, Eric?
No, there's nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. And this is how you can actually do it. You can see here from this particular screenshot that we've got here is that you can actually have two monitors. One that's actually running the iDocs now, the things that have been uploaded to the system through iDocs, and then actually process the claims on the other side on iClaim there. So there's all sorts of things that you can do with technology as it is today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're kind of getting down towards close to the bottom of the hour. We've got a lot of more questions we do want to get through. Let's talk about what additional expenses will I incur after I pay my franchise fee or my licensing fee. We get that question asked quite a bit. What is the ongoing cost of being a part of American Business Systems?
Well, you have a computer. If you don't have a computer, you got to buy a computer. But ongoing, you have a cell phone. You have to have some sort of phone, of course, for your business line. You're going to have to pay for that monthly. We give you an initial supply of our professionally designed marketing materials. Over 2,000 pieces are in the package that's shipped to you, but you can reorder those as you need to at our printing cost, basically. So the great thing is that's it. I mean, you're just paying for your marketing materials on an ongoing basis, and that's it. There's no fees. There's no franchise fees to us. There's no money paid to ABS ever after the initial licensing fee, even for support and upgrades to the software and upgrades to the codes and the training webinars we do. Those are all included in that license fee.
All included. So there are no franchise fees. There's no royalty fees. There's no percentages that we take. When we were showing you earlier that going onto our website to see how much money you can make, that doesn't calculate out what you're going to be paying back to ABS. That's your money. So that's all you have to worry about. So get involved in a business that either has no franchise fees or royalties, or at least some that are low. And ours is certainly at a low at zero. All right, so let's talk about credibility. How can I have credibility as a new business owner without having any experience or no experience for clients? Patrick, this is a serious question that people do ask.
Yeah, and we teach people in our classes how to address that question, folks, because people do want to do business that they trust and that they believe have the capability to handle their billing. So what we do is we position, just like we have these licensees you see here on the screen, these are actual licensees of ours all over the country. We taught them how to position themselves when they are talking to someone about them and their new company. We tell them to say that you've opened a local office of the nation's largest network of medical revenue managers. We process thousands of claims every day for hundreds of doctors from coast to coast, and we collect millions of dollars in revenue that they wouldn't have collected otherwise, so they can focus on what they like best, which is seeing patients and helping patients. So there. Now that doesn't sound like you're working out of your spare bedroom, does it? It sounds like you're part of a nationwide network, and you are.
And of course, and then other credibilities that you actually carry with us here at ABS. One thing I didn't put up here, we probably should have put up there, is being a part of ABS that has 22 and a half years of medical billing experience, because this is all that we do. There's no other franchises that we actually sell. But plus you have all of these other core competencies that you could think of having as part of being part of American Business Systems.
Yeah, our system's won all sorts of awards. We've been certified by all the agencies that have to certify you to make sure that you're compliant with everything. And guys, that carries great credibility there when you're speaking with a doctor. Doctors are concerned about that. That's why we have testimonials from doctors from across the country, even a flyer that will have some quotes from doctors to build your credibility. And those doctors are real clients of some of our licensees.
Right. Yeah. So I know, again, people are asking, why is a doctor going to trust me? I think one of the other things that you'll find out as an ABS licensee is, again, and I think we're going to talk about this, but it's kind of good to say it right here, is that part of the support that you're getting from us is that support of us doing the demonstrations of what you're going to be doing and how you're going to impact that doctor by using the software. So literally, Patrick, we can take people right out of the week of training this week, get them in contact with a doctor next week, do a demo with that doctor the following week, and as far as that doctor knows, these people have been in business for 22 years.
That's right. We position you as having a whole lot more people on your staff than maybe just you or you and your spouse. We are part of your staff. So you have an IT person at the office that you can speak with. You have an insurance person. You have a marketing person. You have all these specialists that you can go back to, and that, of course, is us. ABS has all those people on board. Certified medical coders. We have people who are technical people. All of that is something that we back you up 100% with.
And I know, Patrick, at times we've had to assist some brand new licensees with physician-to-physician references.
Sure.
We know that from Dr. Vicki Rackner, she says that doctors like to hear from their peers. You want to address that real quickly, how we assist with that too?
Well, that's real simple, folks, because we do a demo of our system for you, for your doctor, your prospective clients. We just tell the doctors that if you're interested and you're serious about looking at what we can do for you, let us sit with you for 45 minutes and show you our system. And then at the end of that, if they want references from other doctors, we can give that to them. Mm-hmm. And folks, you can't buy that kind of credibility. If you started this business on your own, you don't have that to be able to offer.
Right.
We're going to provide that for you. And the fact that we do the demos, and Eric, aren't we closing about half of all those demos that we do for doctors? About half of them sign up with our licensees, don't they?
That's right. That's right. And it's because there is such a comfort level and a trust level that our training or our demonstrators can bring to the table, that the doctors, there's a real sense that, wow, this person or this partnership, they really know what they're doing because they've got people behind them that can actually demonstrate that for us.
Yeah, you're a part of our team, and so you can refer to us as your team members and get us, the answers that you need from your team members. So this is something that's just so unbelievable that we'll sit and do those demos like you see here illustrated. We're doing the demo for you. You'll be able to watch it there at the top is, let's say you and your partner. And then below that is the doctor. They're watching it as well, asking questions. And guess what? We answer all those questions for you. So, folks, you don't really need to do anything but help doctors get signed up for our demos, and we'll help you get clients through that.
That's exactly correct. Patrick, before we go to this other question here, do you want to kind of look over and let's see if there's any questions that we can maybe answer about halfway through here? That way we won't have to get so backed up when we get towards the end.
Yeah, I see one here from Shakita. She says, all business investments carry risk. What is your licensee failure rate? I addressed that today, Eric, because for some reason people get hung up on why people fail in not just our business, but any business. And so it's real simple, folks. People who try to reinvent the wheel and go outside of our system are going to fail. I mean, we've seen it over and over again, haven't we, Eric? The people
Yes.
who will testify to you, and I've interviewed a lot of them. They're out there on our blog, who say, look, Patrick, I went out and I thought I knew what I was doing, and I thought, well, I know better than they do. So they go and try their own methods of getting clients, and when it fails, they have to come back and start doing what we taught them to do, and then they get a client soon after that. So the failure is just like any other business. Eric, you've heard the old 20-80 rule. Well, probably 20% of our licensees bring us 80% of our volume. That's just
right.
a fact. And the other 80% only bring 20% of the volume. So there's just no way to change that. That's true throughout across industries all over the United States.
Michael asked a question about how do how do the people that we hire get trained?
Well, Michael, that's a good question. We teach you how to hire people, of course, that are going to do two things. One, you could hire people to actually do the billing so that you don't have to be involved in that. Once you've learned it on your own, you can hire people. We'll show you how to find people to do that. And then we have training videos that they can watch. We have dozens of videos that they can watch to show how to use the system and how to do the billing. Then the other person you might want to hire is a sales rep. Maybe you don't want to do any marketing yourself at all. Well, we'll show you how to find and hire and train and pay sales reps that are paid on a straight commission basis. And we even have videos just for those people to teach them how to go out and market for you. So the training basically is done by us, but we do it through webinars and through videos that we've already done and created for you.
All right, let's jump back into these other questions that we have on our slides here, and then we'll kind of wrap up with some more of these questions that we've got here towards the end. Here's a great question here, Patrick. What about territories? What limits do I have?
Well, it's pretty simple. Your territory is what these folks are looking at right here. It's the whole United States of America, because you can file claims for any doctor in any state. This is not state by state. It is a national system, and the form that Eric showed you earlier that's filled out is a form that the government came up with called the 1500 form. That's all you need to know, is that you can bill for any doctor who files on a 1500 form currently anywhere in the United States. We've got licensees, Eric, that have clients all over the United States because they've hired sales reps in different states. And
right.
So you don't have a territory. There's no restrictions whatsoever.
I'm going to let in on a little secret, and I hope the husband and wife team doesn't mind me saying this, but there is somebody on the webinar today that lives actually in Canada. They're right on the border on Canada, and they live right there next to Buffalo, New York, and they're looking at becoming a licensee. So, folks, you can see you don't have to live in the United States to do this business. You can be anywhere, and because I'm talking with them, they're looking at hiring sales reps in the United States to get the business so that they can grow their business there and still live there in the Canadian area. So congratulations to them.
We have a fellow in the training class this week that's from Toronto. He drove down from Toronto to Texas, 20-hour drive.
Yeah,
and he's
so
running business from there. But he, again, is going to get clients, of course, in the United States. This kind of ties in with what Timothy and Lydia asked, do I need a license for each state that I do business? No. We train you and give you the ability to do billing for any doctor in any state. If you sign up a doctor locally, wherever you're at, and that doctor knows a doctor in another state, you just sign them up using the internet and emails and phone calls, and you just get them started. Yeah. No certification or license needed in any state to do medical billing.
There you go. All right, this is a great question. This one gets asked, I mean, probably all the time when we're on phone calls. What about competition in my area? And I'll even have you address not only about other medical billing companies, Patrick, but let's talk about maybe possible other ABS licensees in the areas that particular licensee might be in.
Oh, sure. Yeah, obviously your competition is other medical billing companies that might be in your area. And maybe they've been around for a while. Maybe they already have clients and you don't have, you're starting out. But folks, we position you in the marketplace so that you basically can eliminate your competition with some of the technology that we have that other billing companies don't have. And then we have 6 ancillary services that you can offer to the doctor that those billing companies don't have either. So it puts you in a very unique place in the marketplace. Our technology alone, it just blows everybody else out of the water.
Yeah, there is, and that's one of the things I love. And folks, if you can see this picture that we're showing you, inside that iClaim, we got this little bitty graphic of a building that kind of represents what people know as a medical billing clearinghouse. Folks, you will not find another system out there that has a built-in medical billing clearinghouse. This is your differentiator, that when you're out there doing your billing your business, this is the key factor of what you're going to be able to show, which, as Patrick said, really eliminates any competition that's out there. So you really do. And again, real quickly again, Patrick, even though that there's other ABS licensees, what about that? You want to address that real quickly too as well?
Well, Eric, we've been doing this for 22 years, and so yes, we do have licensees from coast to coast out there. But as I spoke today with a fellow that was in the class, he said, Patrick, I've been in other businesses over the past 30 years, and he said, I've never run into, he's in the financial services industry, Eric. Imagine, those guys seem to be everywhere, right? He says, I've never run into another one of them anywhere in my area. And so, folks, since you don't have a territory, it doesn't matter if there's a licensee somewhere close by. Your territory is the United States. So I think on our website we have a way that they can go and actually see the doctors that are in their area. And, Eric, it's just so many doctors, you can never, ever run out of prospects out there.
Yeah, no way that you can do that. All right, we only got a few more minutes here, and we got some last-minute questions that we're going to go through on our slides, and then there's a ton of questions that are still coming in that we want to address here. But what does the home office or the franchisor, this is a question that you should be asking as someone who's looking at it, do to help me get clients?
Well, one of the things we've done is we've spent over $100,000 developing professional marketing materials, brochures, postcards, DVDs, videos, and of course we take you through our week-long training here to help you get clients. We teach you about a dozen different ways that we've learned over the last 22 years actually works to get clients for this industry. Believe me, there's dozens of ways to market, but most of them don't work. We're going to teach you the ones that do work.
Right. And then
of course, the demos that we mentioned earlier, that's one way we help you to get clients, is we're actually doing the demos and answering all their questions for you. And then, as Eric is illustrating here on the right, we have lifetime support. Our license fee includes the fact that you have support forever going forward. As long as you're an ABS licensee, there's never another fee for that. And so that assures you basically that we're going to help you get clients, because the more money you make, the more money we make. On the back end, we get rebates from our technology partners, and so all the services that you offer, we make a few pennies on each one of those transactions. We're going to help you get as many transactions as we can.
You got it. Absolutely. All right, what will make me to have the unique place in my marketplace here? So let's kind of talk about that, and there's a few slides about what we're going to actually show here. And Patrick, I'm just going to roll through these, and you just talk about every one of them as we kind of go through that.
Okay. Well, one of them is the fact that we have a broad web device capability. Folks, you can run our system on any platform, any PC, any Mac computer, iPads, tablets, even phones, because anything that connects to the internet can connect to our system. So the fact that we have a broad base differentiates us in the marketplace, and it's in the cloud, which means that some medical billing companies, by the way, have all the data stored right on their server, in their computer, in their office. And of course, if it's stolen, they've lost all that patient data out there. They've broken all kinds of HIPAA rules and regulations. Or if the building burns down and you haven't backed it up off-site, you're in trouble there too. With ours, you constantly always have backups that have been done for you off-site. And of course, it's also available, like I said, it's actually been designed to work on the iPad, so the doctor can look at their schedule, like you're seeing here, from the golf course if they want to.
Yeah, and then this is a cool app. It's not an app. It's actually part of the software in and of itself, where the doctors can import photographs, different parts of the library, where they can actually draw on the iPad. Mark it up. They can pull in X-rays on this thing, and this is pretty cool here.
Yeah, there's nothing like this in the marketplace out there for electronic medical records. This is very unique, Eric. The doctor can even take a picture of the patient's actual ankle if there was something there he wanted to see and retain for his records. It's just an incredible, again, cutting-edge technology.
And I know that if they are using their iPads or even any of the Android tablets that have a microphone, instead of the doctor typing out the actual note, they can hit their button on the microphone. If it's an iPad, their Siri, it just learns it from there. If they're using an Android tablet or one of the new PCs that actually have a touch screen, again, there's a microphone there. They could dictate all of their notes right into the EMR system.
Yeah, Eric, there's doctors who spend hours after hours creating their notes for their patients after they've seen them that day. This can be done on the fly using technology. There's no more recording it into a little tape recorder and sending it off to some transcription company. Siri's going to do all your transcription for you as you speak, and she knows most of the medical terms that are out there too. It's amazing how accurate this is.
Yeah. Now I know that this next thing here is probably this is the future. We've talked about this. This is the future, and Patrick, I know that we even talked about it last week that there are a franchise out there that's just selling just what we see as a virtual office visit. But this is actually inside of our system already.
Yeah, this is the future, Eric, and yet, like you said, we've had it here for the last 3 or 4 years. It's built in. It's called telemedicine, or as we call it, e-visit, because as you can see, the doctor can actually video chat with you, the patients, that is, through our system. And then they can also type notes and things and links and book titles and whatever else they want to inside the chat there. So this is going to be the future of medicine, Eric. There's too many patients, not enough doctors. They will be seeing people who don't have to have a face-to-face meeting with the doctor just through technology. And the doctor will be able to bill for that.
Absolutely, the doctor will be able to bill for that. So again, I know, Patrick, you and I have kind of tinkered around a way that we can actually show this live on a webinar. So folks, be ready. We may actually be able to figure out how to do that here in the near future. All right, let's talk about references. What about the success rate of other franchisees or business owners in this industry? I know we've already had some questions about, you know, how well do people fail? Do people actually succeed at this business? Let's kind of talk about, talking about other business owners that are actually in this industry.
Yeah, well, here's an example. This is Carla Rich and Amy Conley up in Ohio. They are moms that decided they wanted to run their own business out of their own home. They live close enough together where they can go from one person's home to the other, and they're partners in the business, and they love it because they're there when the kids need them at home. And as you can see from this quote here, they wrote, Amy says, Carla and I called you in May and had been offered 6-figure jobs by a large medical supply company. And you encouraged us to just focus on our business. Well, since then we've signed 1 new OBGYN, have a contract pending with a family doctor, and have 2 other prospects ready to move forward. In fact, one of the prospects is the very first physician we met with after we returned from live training 2 years ago. Can you hear the excitement in my voice? And to think, a few months ago I was willing to walk away for a, quote, guaranteed monthly paycheck and vacation time. Ha! I love to get these kinds of notes from people, Eric, because this is a true life example of somebody who was tempted to go back to work for a big corporation that was going to pay them a salary and decided to build their own business, and now they're just prospering tremendously. Let's see, they go on to say, but here's the most exciting part. We're renting office space. They were working out of their home. We are taking the next step to build our business, and although somewhat scary, it's so much more exciting than anything. We have one girl that works part-time and have another on call and ready to start when we need her. So here's your official invitation. If you're up this way, we'd love to take you to lunch. Thanks for all you and ABS do to help us each and every step of the way. I can't tell you how much it's appreciated. Folks, we have all of these testimonials, of course, on file. If you come down to visit us here, we'll be glad to show you any of these. They're real.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can call and talk to these folks, too.
Yeah, and we're just going to kind of flip through some of these. I know that some of these go way back. I mean, Wendy and Bob Bruno, again, they're from Ohio, and they're just, she's growing this business like wildfire.
And here's little Sherry Moreland and Mia, her daughter there, you see. She says she paid off her investment with ABS within 6 months. So talk about a return on investment, Eric. There's a good one right there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
She stay at home with Mia. Bob White up in Washington. I've done a recent interview with Bob. He signed up 3 doctors in the first 3 months and now has 7. He has 3 employees, and he has several clients on some of our other ancillary services as well. Tracy Clark in Kentucky signed a sleep center within 4 months that bills $300,000 a month. Eric, do the 6% on that.
Yeah, that's pretty doggone good there.
That's a pretty good client to have. Yeah, Jody and Mark Guthrie in Mississippi, 6 practices. They're both full-time, and they have 3 employees, and of course both work from their home. So folks, this can be a home business forever as long as you want to. And Eric, talk about building it as big as you want. Here's Benjamin Ishkohoff, Russian immigrant up in New York. Him and his partner have 2 offices now in Manhattan, 30 employees, and they bill for over, are you ready for this? 300 doctors.
Yep, and then you just visited this group here because they're actually in Texas, and I don't even know if I've got this right here because I think you actually have an update since what I put in here on this particular slide.
I visited with Cash only a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, he's got 4 offices now, and he's got about 35 employees, 70 doctors that they're doing billing for.
So this is unbelievable how people can grow. I remember when Cash attended training. And he pulled me aside one day. He says, "Eric, I'm really skeptical about this business." I said, "Cash, just hang in there. Just stick with us for the rest of the week." And wow.
Eric, he's in a 2,400 square foot office right now. He's got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 people in there, I think. And they're having to move now because they just signed up 6 more clients 2 weeks ago. They're moving to a 6,000 square foot office. That's a big office.
That is just, I can't even fathom trying to keep up with that. That's just nearly impossible to keep thinking about.
They love it. They love it.
All right, so folks, as you can see here, we've gone through a lot of questions that I know that we've gotten a lot of feedback from folks.